Thank you, everyone, for joining us on a new episode of Channel Orange. I'm your host, LK the God, the DD the Mogul. I am here with the co-pilot on the funky ship we call Fiyasquad. Puffco Bobby, what we puffing on today?
What are we puffing on today? What did I smoke earlier? It was a Evermore ice cream cake. Classic. It's they're undefeated. Evermore always makes some spectacular rosin, so shout out to them. Great terps, great effects. Feeling nice.
Yes. Feeling nice, feeling great. Let's start. Where do we start? We always got to start with hoops. On every episode of Channel Orange, we start with hoops. So let's talk some hoops. IST just started. I mean, damn, I always get them confused. The play-in tournament just started, everybody. I'm sorry. We didn't see no ugly-ass courts. It was the play-in tournament. And actually called a couple games. Let's start with, let's say, the fall of the dynasty. Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, my initial thoughts are first, like, I really am enjoying the play-in tournament. You know, I was kind of iffy on it as a new thing, a few years ago, but, like, it's kind of lit. I like the play-in tournament a lot. I think this is cool. I think letting teams, claw their way into the playoffs or fumble their way out of the playoffs
For sure.
is quite entertaining. And so that's the first thought, just initially, of the play-in in itself. For the Dubs in themselves, they looked old. They looked old as hell. Draymond looks like he is more antics than he is
Antics, yeah.
defensive stalwart, even though he's still good and valuable. But I think his antics are overtaking how valuable he is on the court, where he's more interested in being a mixed martial artist than an actual, power forward.
This ain't that.
So, and Klay Thompson, we got to talk about Klay going 0 for everything.
0 for.
He has looked borderline washed all season, which is pains to say. It's, injuries and things like that. But if Klay Thompson is not a sharpshooter and, not athletic enough to be an elite defender, that's not.
It's contract time for Klay Thompson, too.
Yeah, that is not the last look you want to see of,
Over. And over.
And he's a guy talking about that he is still worth a max contract, and he's still this guy. Like,
I mean, what else you want to say?
Yeah, I don't know.
What else you want to say? I'm a 6 man. What else you want to say? It's fucked up.
Between Draymond, Klay, and Chris Paul, and Steph being 35 or whatever, it's looking over. It's looking over. And I wanted to. I had a conversation with my homie Trey about this the other day too, because they fumbled the rebuild. They had enough to reload and rebuild. I feel like they mismanaged Kuminga till very recently. So maybe this season, James Wiseman was a big old miss.
I mean, that wasn't their fault. James Wiseman, he just dried up.
It's their fault for picking him. I got
to go back in the draft and see who they could have took.
LaMelo Ball.
Okay,
they could have been.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, and LaMelo's still iffy for real, because his ankles and his ability to be a winning player other than an entertaining player is still up for debate. But it's looking over because they mismanaged their rebuild. Now you're stuck with Moses Moody, Kuminga, 2 solid pieces, on your bench. But and I think despite Chris Paul being geriatric at this point, he's still a better option than Jordan Poole, because I've watched too much Wizards basketball this year to ever think Jordan Poole being on your team is a good idea.
They won a chip with Jordan Poole, though.
They did. In that role, he was great, but he is not the same player since he got punched in the face. Draymond gave him some sweet chin music.
Drain punch. That's what it was.
Yeah, drained all his talent.
You know what? That's the title of today's episode, Drain Punch.
Nah, the title of this episode's got to be Milky Way Ghetto. Like that.
Okay, you got it. Okay, we'll talk about that later. You're right. You're definitely right. You're right. I forgot all about that shit. Oh, my God. All right, go ahead. Keep going. My bad.
Might name my album that. Like, that's amazing writing. But, the Warriors look about done. I don't know how you reload it now with just Steph. How do you reload it around Steph? Because now Klay, what value does Klay and Draymond beyond a podcast mic have in the trade market?
These niggas are podcasters. That's crazy.
Yeah,
they are podcasters. They're both podcasters at this.
Draymond already got a head start. He's ready. He's ready for his next career. If it's not, boxer or something.
Boxer. No, he's not going to fight somebody who's going to fight back. Listen,
Street fighter.
think I think the best thing for the Warriors to do, I mean, let Clay go, man. Let him go. Let him go.
Because I feel like they're going to want to keep Steph forever. Like, there's no way they'll
Steph not going
they'll
nowhere.
never get rid of Steph. So is this just going to be a Kobe thing where Steph just has an ass team around him for his final years and he just goes out trying to score 60 and just, just being a franchise guy? Or do they try to somehow
Good old Simon
reload
trade.
it? Yeah, reload it. Who you trading? Like, you trade Kuminga?
Clay gone. No, fuck it, Clay.
Of course, Clay, but what you getting back for Clay at this point?
Pieces.
Like, that's it.
We're not looking for a star. We need pieces. Wiggins could go to. Wiggins goes.
Yeah, Wiggins is half motivated. Half
Wiggins
the time.
was out there looking like Harrison Barnes before they got Kevin Durant on the Warriors. He was looking like Harrison Barnes, and he has a way more expansive skill set. I don't know what. I mean, he had personal shit going on in his life. I don't.
Seems like every year he has personal stuff going on too. So that happened 2 years in a row. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know.
I mean, it's a rumor, but best friend fucking his wife type shit.
Yeah, I heard that was.
Got his
I
wife
heard that was in
pregnant.
it. Yeah, like I did hear that rumor, but I'm pretty sure
That
that was
has
just
happened so many times in the NBA that niggas don't talk about. But that happens a lot in the NBA, bro. Like, when you listen to these niggas on podcasts, they be like, yeah, nigga. You wonder why nigga just up and got cut, up and got traded? I can't play with a nigga who fucking my face. I can't. Hey, CJ, you gonna throw a nigga a lob? He fucks you. Nah.
I ain't like, man, you better get that bread, bro.
Yeah, so I think you get rid of. Can you? Dre. Good old Dre. I know they sick of Dre. Yeah, I trade Dre and Clay. Gotta go. Dre, Clay, Wiggins, build around Kuminga. They already don't even play Looney no more, so he can go too. Gut the fucking team. Fuck it. You don't get, they got put out the play-in, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is play-in. We're not even
Like,
talking
they
about the
got put out
playoffs.
the play-in.
This is the play-in.
They got put out of a fucking one game single, like, bruh, like, blow them up. Blow it up. Blow the team up,
it's
bruh.
over.
It's over for them.
Done.
I'm sorry for Clay, man, because, damn, bruh, like, 0 for like 13 or some shit. Like, bruh. And I was watching him, like, miss.
What's
Like,
the body language, too, and stuff like that? It's just like, it's
bad. And then after, like, at this point, they were getting dubbed. And he was on the sideline, like, smiling. I'm like, what are you smiling for? This is over. It's over. You had an offer, bruh.
remembering the glory days.
Listen, if you are in a rec center right now, or you are on fucking Tucker Road Court, and you make 1 3, you have made more threes than Klay Thompson in the NBA. You should feel proud of yourself. And the other game that I caught yesterday, unfortunately, it was on in the gym, so I caught a little bit of it. The Hawks and the Bulls. Now, this is an unsavory game, but it showed me a couple things. One, Trae Young, left hand is done. Like, he couldn't, every time he touched the ball, he gave it up. He wasn't trying to take nobody off dribble. He wasn't trying to go in the paint, because, you go in the paint, niggas smacking you and shit. So he was in his head about it. DeJounte Murray, he's still pretty fucking good. I say DeJounte Murray is more suited as a point guard more than a shooting guard. Kobe White, about 37 points. Took these niggas to the rack.
I think he had 42.
42. I turned the game off at that moment.
Yeah, it's like,
I turned the game off.
yeah, he cooked.
Took Bojan to the rack. Took Trey to the rack. Couldn't nobody stop him. Man, he made a 3 from deep, like super deep. It was his game.
You saved their whole season, bro, because the Bulls were just having another Bulls-ass season of just like, let's just be mid. Let's just be aggressively mid.
And no Zach
Like,
LaVine either. I just noticed he wasn't even there.
But since Zach LaVine got hurt, Kobe White has turned all the way up. He's finally hit his potential of what he's looked like as, like we said, an early, lottery pick.
Next man up.
And 24, they have somebody to be excited about, a young player to build around, and not just the old heads of, DeRozan and Vucevic, who's fallen off with his defense. And not a lot to be excited about, but Kobe White is there, which there's even less to be excited about in Atlanta, because good God, does that look dysfunctional. Like, they got to blow that shit up. They got to blow that shit up. Cause
Like, they don't
I would even
have-
consider moving Trey, because, like, his defensive ability and effort is pathetic. His his fit with Murray is bad. So it's like
bad.
if you're gonna pick
both
one or the
point
other,
guards.
it looks like there's friction between them. That whole play that was going viral, well, it's at the end of the quarter, and Trae Young just like haphazardly throws a behind the back pass to Murray with like 2 seconds left, where he can't do anything with it, and he's kind of like spazzing out like after the play, like what the fuck, bro?
But he wasn't. He like I said, he wasn't trying to do much because his hand was fucked up. Like his left hand is messed up, so he just wasn't trying to do anything. Like he was handing niggas grenades, passing it everywhere.
Well, like if you're hurt, then get off the court. Then you're hurt, man. Let next man up. But like if you're not gonna help your team, like I don't know, man. Like the Trae Young thing has been bad for a while. The fit they've been stuck in aggressively mid since he's been there. It's time. It's time to start blowing that shit up because
it's like 3 years too late to blow that shit up.
Well, yeah, they're in, like I said, this was the mid bowl between the Bulls and the Hawks, two teams stuck in basketball purgatory.
Yeah,
where it's just like
they should have started blowing that shit up when they got rid of Collins. Like that's when they should have started. You saw the shit ain't working. Yeah, we play all team, but complete rebuild.
Because this is just basically a competition to see who's going to get mauled by Boston or somebody like one of the top seeds is going to murder and sweep these. So just get the broom ready for whichever one of these teams. Yeah, it's rough, but Atlanta's got to do something with the Trae Young. Trade him to the Spurs. Let him throw some lobs to Wemby or something.
I mean, that is the ideal place for him to go.
Yeah, then let Murray, like you said, take the reins if you want to keep Murray, or if you want to, I'd get rid of both of them for real, honestly. Start fresh. Yeah. Even though this is like the weakest possible draft.
Start Kobe Buffkin.
You drafted all these, kids, man. Like you might as well. Like
AJ Griffin,
Jalen Johnson,
he
turned out pretty good. So it's like you got something. I like Onyeka. Nkungwa
Kungu,
yeah. So
I fuck with a Kungu, yeah.
They definitely overpaid Hunter though. I don't know what.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, bro.
Universe he's worth the amount of money that they gave him, but
outside of the playmaking that you can get from, so you already got Trae Young, he doesn't want to touch the ball. You got DeJounte Murray, he's going to try, and then you got then DeAndre Hunter trying to score on offense and it's just not working. Like throwing he had an air ball 3 last game. He drove. He got it stripped. I'm like, bro, y'all don't got nobody who can control the ball other than Trae Young, who doesn't want to touch it, and DeJounte Murray, who's getting doubled at this point, and DeAndre Hunter can't shoot. It was just looking bad out there. Like I think they had 85 points or some shit. I'm like, bro. It's bad. It's bad in Atlanta. It's bad. All right, so Lakers Pelicans.
It's a good game. It was a really good game. My observations from that were CJ McCollum is washed. My man was struggle heeming out there, and the fit has been bad since he's been there. Yeah. Like, because he's not a real point guard, and he's kind of forced to be a point guard. So, so Alvarado ended up eating up his minutes in crunch time, who was playing really well. Like, you got to give it to Grand Theft Alvarado. He was out there hooping. He looks like an annoying little shit to play against, but he's scrappy. He's tough, and he was hitting big shots and making big stops. And so you got to respect Alvarado, but he's not what you want as a full time starting point guard. He was definitely good in those clutch minutes, but CJ is more of a scorer than he is a distributor. And even as a scorer, he's kind of limited with his athleticism as he is aging and things like that. So he looked fucking awful, like out there. But Zion looked incredible.
He looked great.
He looked motivated. He looked hungry, no pun intended. And my man was out there putting in work. But then the Zion thing happens, and late in the game when he's dominating, he's fucking dominating LeBron and AD. He's got 40 fucking points and then blows his hammy out or his fucking leg out, and he's done for the game. And then the Lakers are able to come out and execute on them, which is I don't know why Brandon Ingram wasn't in the game more later in the game, though. That was kind of baffling to me. There wasn't more BI taking over, especially with Zion out. So I was a little baffled of what the hell the Pelicans offense was doing, even though Trey Murphy was making some big shots. He's gonna be good as he continues to develop. But the Lakers, although not a big threat, I mean, Austin Reeves is legit. I think he's not just Laker tax white boy, of him being decent. Austin Reeves is clutch, and Russell hit some big shots. You know, D'Lo hit some pretty big shots. But at the end of the day, LeBron James beating Father Time, just doing something unprecedented, triple doubles, being the best player on a playoff team.
That's why I wish they had a way better team because LeBron is still playing at a very high level.
Yeah, that's what I said. This is if he had a better squad, he definitely could still be that major contributor to get a team to a championship. Honestly, I just don't think this team with Dinwiddie on the bench and people like it's just not enough. But absolutely impressed with LeBron just continuing to defy time itself and still play this well at his age, where most players in his draft class are sitting behind a podcast mic or in a studio.
And he also is sitting behind a podcast mic. Have you been catching his podcast? Him with JJ Redick? You been watching it?
I saw a little bit of it. I saw some snippets, but I didn't see the whole thing.
They're already up to episode 5. I'm like, damn, y'all moving quick, bro.
It's cool though. It's 2 high basketball IQs. But just enjoying the play-in tournament. I think it's a good idea. It's a good idea if they implement it there.
Well, the Lakers once again have to deal with the Nuggets.
They about to get fucking slaughtered. This is sweet.
Mollywopped.
Because the last time they did well is because they had Dwight Howard in there to bully Jokic. They don't have that big body in there. Like they're gonna have to have Anthony Davis play center, which he hates to do, and then he's gonna have to go against Jokic, which he hates to do.
Torched up by Jokic all over again.
So it's just like, I don't like this matchup for the Lakers at all. I think Denver's gonna. I've picked Denver from the beginning of the season to go back. Until I see somebody beat them in a 7-game series.
You got to chop the head off the snake. You can't do it with Denver, bro.
Yeah.
Before you know it, they up 15, and then you like, what the fuck are we doing? Then they up 20. Then like, what the fuck are we doing? Put somebody on Jokic. Switch. Double. What are we doing? Like that shit. Like seeing a team like malfunction when Jokic is tearing them apart is hilarious.
He is picking them apart like a quarterback, just ripping up a defense, and that's all it is. Like unless you can defend everybody perfectly all the time, then you're gonna get scored on.
You forget about Jamal Murray.
Yeah, it's like he turns up in the playoffs every year. Like Jamal Murray is a superstar in like the most low key way.
I said he's one of the most underrated players of all time.
Yeah, I think he is legit. Honestly, especially after winning a championship as the second best player on a championship team.
Would you say Jamal Murray now is better than Kemba at his peak?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Because Kemba was
put up a lot of big numbers on a bad team.
He had 3 elite years.
Yeah, Kemba's peak was in Charlotte.
For sure.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, like, you weren't playing meaningful games. You weren't, you were just the man on a terrible team. Not taking anything away from Kemba. I think he was great when he was there.
When he was great, he was great. Man, that nigga was great.
Yeah, so it's like, I like Kemba a lot. I think deserves respect on his name. But, just him in Charlotte, based on, when you're comparing it to Jamal Murray in these big games, dominating other superstars,
Didn't Philly win?
Yeah, Philly won that ugly-ass game. Yeah, it was missing everything. Everybody was off.
Gritty.
Yeah, that was ugly.
I'm sick of the Heat, man. I'm
kind of sick of Heat culture, too.
Yeah, man.
Jimmy Butler's out, too. He's going to be out for the next couple games if they have in the next couple games.
They talking about MCL? I'm like, bro, what the he's done.
It's not enough. They don't have enough firepower.
They don't.
Without Jimmy.
And Hero's back, and they still don't have enough firepower.
Still not enough. Yeah, it's like they don't have enough firepower. Bam and Hero can't outscore anybody by themselves. You're going to rely on Jaime Jaquez off the bench to give you something. But
they really screwed up getting Damian Lillard, bro.
Yeah, they might have needed that more than the Bucks for real.
They would have been way better than the Bucks are,
and he probably would be happier, which would make a difference too, because he's clearly unhappy.
Bro, the nigga just got a divorce and he's about to move to Miami, nigga.
Yeah, he got a divorce and moved to Milwaukee, bro.
Nigga, do you see the seeds that he was sowing, nigga? Yeah. Ain't no hoes in Milwaukee. I don't know. I'm sorry, Milwaukee. Good women.
It's definitely good women in Milwaukee. It's definitely some courtesans, as you say, and
courtesans,
as they say in Shogun.
Yeah,
and in Milwaukee, but they probably not on par with the courtesans from Miami.
It's Miami, bro. Yeah. It's Miami. Like,
not to mention the weather. Weather is a big difference, man. Like, you want to live on the beach or you want to live in Milwaukee. That's
You want some cheese or you want some cheeks?
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Someone who lived in Florida, like the weather is nice. It's a selling point.
Yeah, but when I did go to Florida, at least Orlando, it rained 75 times a day. And the sun shined like 30 minutes every day. I was like, bruh, it's beautiful here, but Jesus, it rains a lot. That was Orlando, though.
Sometimes.
Speaking of somewhere where it never rains, I caught Dune.
Yeah, man. What did you think about Dune?
All right,
These
so
are your thoughts.
All right. This is my camera. All right. So Dune, in a nutshell, if you haven't seen Dune, I would suggest you see it. It's probably not even in movie theaters no more because it's like too much of an odyssey to try to capture on small screens, and you need good sound systems too, right? So I like the universe. I like the characters. I would compare it to like saying Star Wars, but it's more straightforward than Star Wars because there's a lot of stuff about Star Wars that I don't really understand, but Dune explains it a lot. You know what I'm saying? Highly political. We talk a lot about shows and media that have a lot of chess matches, and Dune shows that it's a big chess match in political game and politics because they talk about trade a lot. Like people go to war over spice, people go to war over populations that they don't know about. For example, there's like millions, millions of what is it? It's not Iraqis.
From what?
Fremen.
Yeah, the Fremen.
There's like millions of Fremen, so they was like, bruh, just the fact that they have millions of them, we have to cut down this number. We have to bomb their caves. We have to bomb these mountains. Yeah, I really like it, man. And it shows that in 3 hours you can explain a lot because from my understanding, this is just the first book.
The two movies is this is book one.
So this is still kind of the vehicle to get you into the universe because it's still just the first book.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to explain earlier. It's like we're still world building, dog.
Yeah,
like,
this is a whole lot of world building.
We haven't even seen all the stuff like the Spacing Guild and all the other factions and
like for real, I told you before, like Dune 1 and Dune 2, it's pretty much contained on one planet. This is a whole universe that they have.
Yeah, we haven't seen the other great houses. We haven't gone back to Caladan or any of these other places yet. So, yeah, there's a whole lot. Like I said, this is a dense universe. This is like I said, as someone who loves both this and Star Wars, so like I always get attacked by the Star Wars people. They're a little touchy when I'd say that like I prefer the world building in Dune because it's a little bit more complex and like I said, a little bit more political. It's a little bit darker and more ambiguous. It's not like clear good guys and bad guys, Empire and
there's a lot
like
of gray
fucking
area
Ewoks dancing and shit. Like that's all cool. Like I say, I love Star Wars. I would even say I love Star Wars. Like I said, and Star Wars has gotten more complicated with things like Andor and things that have come out more recently. So I'm not completely slandering, Star Wars as being simplistic, but in comparison to just how complicated and morally complex these books are and how dense they get, and then just how weird they are. I just like how weird Dune gets and how it's not afraid to get weird into little like 2-year-old like murder babies that have the consciousness of all their ancestors or fish people in a tank that can navigate space because they're so damn high on spice that they can see the future. Like that's I'm with all this, like the witches and sex dominatrix, like magic, all that stuff. I'm with all of it.
So am I to believe that heavy concentration of spice consumption can grant you superpowers?
That is pretty much what they're saying. Like, do enough drugs and then you will transcend space and time.
But isn't like a side effect? It makes you hallucinate.
Yeah, and then your eyes turn blue and stuff like that.
Because these things, they're hot. Their eyes are always blue.
Yeah, after a while, it's like prolonged exposure will turn your eyes blue.
So every time
there's spice in the desert, so the Fremen always
it comes off the desert like it's sand basically. So I'm like, every time I see somebody with blue eyes, I'm like, bruh, he's high as shit right now. Maybe we should like take what he says with a grain of salt or sand, as it were, because it's Dune. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Man, finally watched it. Lisan Al Gaib. Let's go.
This is what I give. This is what I give. So the people who like, let me just respond to the people who talked about it. People who like there isn't enough action. I think, like I said, like we always say, there doesn't have to be a lot of action in stuff for it to be interesting. You just have a short attention span. They have a lot of storytelling, a lot of dialogue that you have to chew on and actually understand what's going on because they tell you what's going on. And the fights are really, really good. Like, even in Dune 2, it started off with action. And yeah, that's a good thing about longer movies. They can have an action set piece be for like 10 to 15 minutes. Like, for example, that one mission when the Fremen, they were trying to blow up that one spice machine. Yeah, like that was a whole mission, and we had to go through it with them. So I did like that. But yeah, I do like Dune, man. I like the inclusion of Austin Butler, as being unhinged and bald and crazy. And I'm kind of mad he died like dad in the first movie, though.
Yeah, it's a Harkonnens, man. Like I said, it was supposed to have that epic duel, and you know what I'm saying? That was like two parallels because they were supposed to actually get married because Paul was supposed to be a girl and their offspring was supposed to be the chosen one. So it's just ironic that they had to fight to the death to be like, I'm the chosen one. Nigga, like, I'm trying to be the... I think it's just super funny that they control that man with fucking coochie, basically. And it was like, he's unhinged, but he does like pussy. So, like, we can control him. But he wild, though. Because they gave him the box test, and that was, like, one of the funniest, like, hard cuts.
Yeah,
It was like, put your hand in the box, and they do a hard cut. It's like, he liked it too much. Like, he really is sick. Like,
it was like, yeah,
my man enjoyed the test too much.
She was like, I saved the bloodline. I was like, you fucked that nigga.
Gotta secure the Harkonnen bloodline just in case he lost that duel, which he did.
So I was like, was this during the whole test? Because that's kind of kinky.
No, after the test got him so horny from that test that she was able, which is also this, like, it's problematic, but we can control him, but it's also weird. He should not have enjoyed that test as much as he did.
He hit that joint. I was like, wow. Hey, it is what it is. So the Baron that has got killed, like I said before, his death are anticlimactic, because he was shown having, like, I kind of thought he had like some other hitting abilities or something.
He's just a fat guy with a suspender belt that can make him float.
Yeah, that was dope though. The whole him floating and stuff, that was cool. Yeah, but I really like Dune. I really do suggest it. I like the universe. I'm excited to see where it goes next, especially with Anya Taylor-Joy coming in the show. Duncan Idaho coming back. Sorry, spoilers or whatever. You read the book. He's coming back.
Again and again and again and again and again.
And all the weird stuff that's supposed to happen coming soon. And, yeah. But yeah, man. Go check out Dune. I like it. What's next?
Let me move on to TV shows.
Oh, Shogunate. Yeah. Shogunate.
The penultimate episode of Shogun.
Penultimate. Crimson Sky. So, where would you like to begin?
Like I said, not my favorite episode of the season, but also it was still another very good one. Like I said, the banger. I still think 8 was my favorite. Like, something about 8 was really, really resonated with me. But this one was also really good. This was the Mariko episode. This was basically all about her and her bossing the fuck up, and it was awesome. Like, that actor, I don't remember her name, is awesome.
She plays Mariko?
Yeah.
Anna Siwa.
Yes. Awesome. Just completely powerhouse performance throughout this entire episode. Yeah, and it's pretty much her show. She stole the show. I can't think of anything other than the scenes that she just chewed the fuck up, and it was great. especially her being in the scene with Ishido with the meeting where he's just trying to be like, oh, you'll leave with the permits. She's like, no, nigga, like I'm leaving when I'm leaving. I told you when I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And he's like, you forget your manners. Like, nah, you forget I'm not a peasant, nigga. I'm from a high family, from a high house, nigga. Like, so I'm leaving, or you gonna admit we all prisoners, nigga? So just she's using her life that she does not want.
Yeah.
That she has made clear that
Using
she
it
is
as a weapon.
Yeah, she's using it as a tool for Toranaga and to checkmate his political opponents. And she's basically just looking for an opportunity to make her death count. She's like, I'm trying to die, but I need it to matter. And I need it to serve this political purpose so that I just don't die for nothing after all this misery. So it's just interesting to watch her try to find a glorious death, basically. And she found a not quite glorious death.
She was looking for the death that Toranaga's son was looking for, the beautiful death.
Yeah, or at least like I said, meaningful. It just had to mean some shit.
Yeah.
Cause she's so plenty of times she could have died, and she's just like, nah, dog. Even like when her husband's like, we could die together, and she's like, nah.
That is a thing, like in movies and TV shows, if somebody's life gets saved, like because she got saved in the nick of time with the permits finally coming. So I was like, that kind of happens a lot in TV shows. If somebody's life gets saved, they're going to die. Eventually. It happened in Stranger Things.
With the old boy.
Because she got saved before, and they was like, she's going to die. We're going to kill her. So, yeah, that is something that happens. But she had a meaningful death, for sure. Went out like a G.
What are you talking about, Max?
Yeah, Max.
I thought she didn't die. Isn't she in like a coma or something? They'll bring her back, man.
Okay. I don't think she's coming back.
It's Professor Exeter. She ain't got no legs, right? I think they snapped her limbs, right?
I think she's brain dead.
I don't know. I think she might help out from the astral plane.
Leave it in the comments. Do you think Max is coming back in Stranger Things? Do you think Max is coming back? Me personally, I think she's gone for good. Moving on. Your man, Blackthorn got a cheeks again.
Yeah, and
double cheeks.
Shot a dude in the face too. That was pretty boss.
Yeah, he was good with that pistol.
Yeah, he had that thing on him. He was ready.
Yeah,
he was ready for all the action.
Yeah, he was going crazy. What else happened this episode? Yeah, just a little bit more positioning. Mariko's backstory, her relationship with the other woman. I forgot her name.
Yeah, the mother of the heir.
Yeah, the mother of the heir. Yeah, still a great show. It's over next week.
Yeah,
it all ends next week. We have to let go of another good show because it's over for good.
Great run, man. It's a great run now.
But you got to know when to end.
Yeah, it's like I said, I'd rather just end on a strong run. It's telling a very specific story off of a book, so tell the story. It's been great so far. I can't wait for the ending. I never read the book, so this is all new to me. I've avoided spoilers. I don't want to know what happens. I'm just letting the show be my first experience to this, and maybe I'll read the book afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Moving on. Dum 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 dum. All right, so Xmen 97. It's kind of surreal that our nostalgia is alive and walking around and back being a banger. I mean, what if they put the same amount of attention on the old school Spider-Man TV show, like with tall, buff Spider-Man, not the small whatever. So 97, Life Death Part 2, but they added in a little bit of sprinkle of his Professor X.
He's back.
He's back. And he's walking. He was walking.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little strut going on, you know what I'm saying? So, of course, we got Life Death, we've already seen the tweets with Beyonce's soundtrack playing behind Storm getting her powers back.
So she got her edges back.
Edges back. She got the new outfit. Looking amazing.
New old outfit. That's her classic.
Yes.
Giant size. Just beautiful, man. I got no notes, man. This show is so fucking good. These writers are so good. Like every line of dialogue is amazing. when Shorty she called our galaxy ghetto. She said, "Yo, ghetto, you're ghetto Milky Way galaxy." Like, hey, yo, you're Milky Way ghetto. Yo, Shorty, chill, bro. What are these writers on right now, dog? Yo,
Yeah. Yeah, that I was like, wow.
but every line of dialogue's been perfect. I think, even though I feel like the pacing is speed running some of these like classic stories like Life Death, it's speed running in a way that's still satisfying. Like, I don't give a fuck. They're killing it. They're absolutely killing it. They absolutely like, hey, bro, writers, look at me. You guys are cooking. You guys are absolutely fucking cooking. Like, I'm telling you, dog. What you've done in this show shows me that you have a fundamental understanding and love for these characters. This isn't Wolverine and his sidekicks. This is a show that is fully embracing and understanding each character so very well. Having Storm go through life death, come through the grips that she is great without her powers, but she's defined by her powers. Just every line, just let them be thunder for I am lightning, and her having a magical girl transformation buff, getting her, like I said, getting her edges back, freaking getting the bundles out here. She's out here flying with Omega level precision out here with the horses out here. She got the horses in the back. Like, it's crazy, yo. This show is unbelievable. And it really captured how powerful the Omega level Storm is.
Yeah.
Like, she is a goddess on planet
pretty
Earth.
much nigh at this point. Like, she's nigh. Like, those people who are like upper level, upper limits are like, she could pretty much do anything.
And even the little details. I almost woke up my whole damn house at 6 a.m. when I seen Nightcrawler get added to those intro sequence. And I seen my man Bamf in that jump with his own title card. Like, the let's go that I like rang out at 6 a.m. was incredibly inappropriate. Like, this show is cooking on another level. So shout outs to y'all. I don't know what Bo DeMayo did, bro, but if he didn't break any fucking laws, you might want to revisit. I'm just saying.
Don't speak too quickly on that. He might be some.
Look,
man, don't know.
I need to know. I need to know what this man did. I'm sorry. This show is too good for us to not know.
So we saw Scott's brother, Vulcan.
That opens up a whole nother can of worms. Like, bro, we got motherfucking Vulcan in the Imperial Shi'ar Guard, which means Deadly Genesis happened at some point in this universe, which means Charles Xavier is still a piece of shit, like, and had some kids murdered that he covered up and erased people's memories of, including Scott's long lost brother, who ends up at the Shi'ar. And like, hey, bro, we could be getting a lot of cool stuff that they set up. We could be getting some War of the Kings type stuff. We could just be getting the Vulcan family reckoning, which is another reason that Scott goes down his kind of darker, more militant path, which could go into, after his whole interview moment, this could be maybe a season 2 story arc of Scott finding out he had a brother and is betrayed by Xavier.
My question is, with his dark villain arc, isn't that tied into X-Men versus Avengers?
Mostly, yes. Avengers versus X-Men, and then since then, kind of like Avengers and Inhumans whole period. But yeah, I wouldn't even call Scott evil. He's just more Magneto-like. He's more militant. He's more because our backs are against a wall. We keep getting genocided. We have to be a little bit more aggressive about our survival, Scott. So he's just like kind of. I don't fully agree with all this stuff, but I'm not mad at him for wanting to be like, look, dog, this whole turn the other cheek shit is bullshit. Like, instead of waiting for the Sentinels to come wipe us out, how about we go kill the people that make them? And, that's more of his mindset, like preemptive, look, dog, we're tired of this shit. And I'm going to he's the one who made the darker version of X-Force, not the Cable, Deadpool, big guns and pouches version, but the version of Deadpool. It's like, hey, Wolverine, let me holler at you, Blair. I need you to kill some people for us. Like, I know, take off the bright spandex. I need you to go in their home late at night, slash his fucking throat.
Wear some black.
Yeah, and then all the enemies of mutants, and like, I need you to do that. Get a team for that. So it's just like, I respect Scott, but this could be very interesting towards his arc. And they set up a lot of things with Xavier's arc, and he's out here getting that space cooch out here, that bird box out here in space.
Bird box.
He's out here with Lalandra.
Hey, yeah.
So he's out here. So
yeah, he was about to give up the whole. He's about to give up the whole universe for that jump. So hey, man, he was about to do it for some legs and some legs. That's
But
funny.
now he's got to come back and
Legs and some legs.
find out if his friend's alive. I'm sure Magneto survived somehow.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And we'll see where the season goes. We have one episode before the finale starts. The finale 3-part starts. So we get Bright Eyes next week, which I'm thinking is going to be a Cable time travel-y Bishop episode. We figure out kind of what's happening with all of that.
They say it's like a Cable origin, you know.
Because that is what Rogue called him in the original show, Bright Eyes, because his eyes glow when he uses his powers. So I'm thinking we'll get some sort of Cable explanation of what he was doing, why he was on Genosha, probably to try to prevent the massacre. We get the reveal that Mr. Sinister was behind the massacre, like I predicted. It wasn't going to be Cassandra Nova because they just haven't laid any seeds for that, and she's never been introduced in the show, so it wouldn't make sense to just ass pull her at the 11th hour and then have to explain who the fuck she is. I've figured it would be somebody that we has already established. So my theory still is Mr. Sinister has teamed up with the machines in the future, and he's created Bastion as like the human Sentinel hybrid, and that's his work in this, and they'll rework it like that Mr. Sinister.
Did they show Nimrod?
And they showed him in the opening.
In the opening, yeah.
Yeah, he was coming out of Master Mold. So and they showed Nimrod getting blown up in the Days of Future Past episode too. So they're definitely setting up Nimrod, and Bastion is a version of Nimrod. So it's like,
okay,
he's a human hybrid version of Nimrod and Master Mold put together. So I'm thinking Mr. Sinister did the genetics work to make the human part, to do the human machine kind of hybrid stuff, and he's involved somehow, clearly, because he did the Cassandra Nova role, because they explicitly have Trask say, "Look, you took my DNA so you could access Master Mold," and that's exactly how Nova does the attack on Genosha. So they basically reveal that he is in the Cassandra Nova role, but now we just have to see the height of the conspiracy. Like, who's he working with? Machines from the future, probably, because Nimrod is of the future. Nimrod is the ultimate sentinel that they can't beat in the far future. He can just always make another body. He can always adjust to your power set. Like, Nimrod is inevitable. And even in the Krakoa comics, Nimrod is a problem. In the far future, he's the one that's like, fuck, he keeps beating us because he killed Apocalypse in the future. Like, Nimrod is just that strong. So he is dangerous, even though he looks silly and didn't do much in the original show. Nimrod is the ultimate murder machine sentinel. And he's going to have a lot to do with this arc with Bastion and where we go. So like, I can't wait for episodes 8 through 10. Those are supposed to be the big ones. Like,
yes, sir.
So we got one more get your feet underneath you episode, and then we're going to whatever this crazy finale is. So I am all for that. All for it.
Man, look. Like I said, our childhood is back. It's great. I mean, what else could we say? Xmen 97. It's an awesome show. Hopefully, it gets renewed. I mean, it's already obviously going to get renewed. So many people like it. Hopefully, Bo DeMayo didn't do nothing too bad. So he can come back and finish what he started. And then we can come back and finish what we started. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on a new episode of Channel Orange. I was your host, LK the God, the deity, the mogul. I've been here with Puffco Poppy, C Jizzle. Tell us when you love him. Gang.